Hello guys, I'm Lawrence and welcome to this video. So today we're going to be looking at ways I use to break up the diminished scale. So this is just one idea that comes from my book, Outside Secrets. So if you'd be interested in going into the diminished scale or many other scales deemed as outside, then please check out my book, Outside Secrets. But let's get into this idea here today. So if we're playing over an A altered chord, which will resolve to either a D minor or a D major, then we can use the half whole diminished scale from A. So if we take our 4-note per string positions of that scale, we'll have in fret numbers 5, 6, 8, 9. On the next string, 6, 7, 9 and 10. It's the same pattern, just moved up a fret on the next string. And then you can keep on moving that pattern up the neck. Obviously, when you get to the B string, you need to move it up 2 frets because of the tuning. So that's our half whole diminished scale. So you could also, if you don't like stretching like that, you can slide up, which is also a good way of doing it. So then we've got our second mode, which is obviously the whole half. So that would start on, in this case, our 6th fret, and we would have 6, 8, 9 and 11, and then you would take that pattern up in exactly the same way as we did with the previous pattern. So there are our 2 modes of the diminished scale, and then obviously they repeat up in minor thirds. So essentially in the 4-note per string positions, that's all you need to know. But if we just take these shapes and we just play them up and down the neck, it can sound a little bit formulaic. So we want to look at ways that we can break it up. So if we just simply skip a note out, so say we're going to skip the 2nd note here. So we're going to play our 5, we're going to skip the B flat on the 6th fret, then we're going to play our C and our D flat, our 8 and our 9. Then we can take this shape up. We could also skip out our 3rd note instead, so our C, our 8th fret, and play. These start sounding a lot more open. We could do exactly the same thing with our next mode, so either skipping out the 2nd note or skipping out the 3rd note. Okay, so there are further variations we could do on this pattern. We could also like group it. So for example, okay, so all I did there was take our half whole diminished scale and group it in 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's some ideas that we can build from this concept. We could also skip multiple notes out. So if we skip out the 2nd and the 4th note, then we just get the diminished triad, which is a good sound, but maybe there are some more interesting options. So if we skip out the middle 2 notes, we'll get moving up in major thirds here. And here we'll be moving up in 4ths. So that's another idea that I like to use. We can also move these shapes around symmetrically. So we can move these shapes around in minor thirds. We can obviously move these shapes around in tritones, as we did before. And we can also move these shapes around in 6ths or double flat 7ths. So, and then we can combine the modes of these positions. Okay. So you see how you can start connecting these patterns together and start being quite creative with them. So if we were to use these ideas over a 2-5-1 progression, let's say we're doing a minor 2-5 in D minor. So we're going to have our E half diminished and our A 7 altered. And for both of those chords, we're just going to play A half whole diminished scale. And then we're going to resolve it to some D minor ideas. Okay, So let's have a look at an idea based upon the concept that we were looking at. Okay, so there we had little groups of 4 going up first, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I did the same thing down here, and then I went down and played that pattern going up, and then resolving to a D minor idea. Okay, so I'll impose some harmony over the top of that so you can hear how it resolves. But hopefully that gives you some ideas to mess around with when it comes to breaking up the diminished scale in a creative way. So it's just a short lesson this week, guys, but on Patreon I'll put up some tablature to support this lesson, and I'll also include some extra diminished licks to thank you for your support over there and for supporting my channel. I do really appreciate it. Obviously, please check out my books in the description below. And also, if you'd be interested in joining my guitar club, which is the tier 2 of my Patreon, where we do monthly guitar meetups, where you can ask me any questions about anything, then that would be great. I would really love to meet you. Or alternatively, obviously, you can contact me for private lessons through my website or through my email address, guitarlaurence@gmail.com. So anyway, guys, there'll be a more in-depth lesson next time, but I just wanted to share this little concept with you today, and I'll be back very shortly for another video.